everyone, Dana with the OT Guide. Today's video, we are going to talk all about sharing. I've received so many emails from concerned parents talking about how, their little ones, they can't share. Every time they're prompted to take a turn or share a toy, it causes this huge meltdown at home, and it's a nightmare for everyone involved. This video is going to provide a little bit of background information on sharing. It's going to talk about maybe some of the reasons why your child struggles to share, and then it's going to jump into some of my favorite tips and tricks to encourage sharing at home and at school. So let's start off with some quick background. The American Academy of Pediatrics states children are ready to start learning how to share when they're 3.5 years old. But anything younger than that, it is just going to go right. It's going to go right over their heads. And, if you think about this makes complete sense. Sharing is a complicated skill. It requires empathy. It requires the ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and take their perspective. So teaching our child to share or expecting them to share when they're younger than really 3.5 is like expecting your child to be potty trained by the time they're 2. It's just, they're not developmentally ready yet. Another reason your child might be struggling to share is because they haven't practiced this skill yet. They haven't practiced turn taking yet. Maybe you have an only child who, doesn't have siblings who are constantly ripping toys out of their hands yet. And that's okay. Once they get practice turn taking and sharing, maybe it's in preschool, once they get practice with it and associate it with positive things, maybe their teacher's praise or your praise, then they will start to share and share more. This leads me to my next question, which is, how will we know when our children are ready to learn how to share? First things first, we need to make sure that our children are at least 3, or my preference is 3.5 years old. We're not going to start teaching this skill much earlier than that because it's just going to be frustrating. So let's say your child is 3.5 and they show affection and curiosity about their peers. They might already engage in parallel play with their siblings, meaning they play with their own toy next to their sibling or friend who plays with their own toy in the same general vicinity. That's a good indicator that they might be ready to start learning how to share. Another, good indicator, in my opinion, is if they can engage in some type of play. It's not necessarily a cooperative play, but like maybe they're dancing to a song next to their peers and they're also dancing to the same song. So not quite sharing, but they have a similar goal when it comes to play. So without further ado, let me jump into some of my favorite tips and tricks to encourage your little one to share. Start with parallel play. So I mentioned parallel play a little bit earlier, but parallel play is just when 2 children are playing next to each other. They're not playing with the same toy. They're playing with different toys and they're playing their own games, but they're in the same area. So just having your child tolerate playing in the same area as another child is an awesome first step. Next, you can increase the challenge by having them parallel play, but with stuff that's a little bit more meaningful. For example, if you're trying to teach your toddler how to share and they have an older sibling who already knows how to share, and your toddler has like their number one most favorite toy, no one else can touch it, it's their favorite toy car. But they also have like this toy dinosaur that, it's cool. They think it's cool. They don't really play with it. They're not super interested in it. You can use that toy dinosaur to start with. So you can have their older sibling pretend to play with that toy dinosaur right next to your toddler who's playing with his favorite toy car. So they're seeing, okay, like my older sibling or my friend, they're playing with my toys. It's not going to set them off because it's not their number one most favorite toy. But they are noticing, okay, that's mine. Once your child has mastered parallel play, the next thing you can do is have them engage in an activity with their peers that it doesn't involve sharing or turn taking, but there's still a common goal. And what pops into my head quickly is dancing. You can turn on a song and have them both dance next to each other. So again, they're engaging with each other, they're doing something with a shared goal, but it's not pushing them into sharing just yet. The next thing you want to do is you want to start teaching them the language of sharing. And to me, that would be teaching them the words my turn and what that means, and then also the words your turn. And you can teach them this by just pointing it out. So when your child goes down a slide, you can say, your turn slide, or Joey's turn slide. And then when another child goes down the slide, say, Emma's turn going down the slide, and just using that verbiage over and over again, my turn and your turn. You also want to start pointing out sharing and turn taking at every opportunity you see it and praising it. So if a sibling shares a toy, pointing out, oh my gosh, Lucy shared her toy so nicely. That made me so happy. And pairing it with this huge happy response, as if that child just won you the lottery. So your child sees and pairs turn taking and sharing with some sort of positive reward. Maybe it's my parents' really happy attention. But at this point, your toddler knows how to say my turn, your turn, or they understand what that means. They've seen you point out sharing a million times. At this point, the next step is to actually practice turn taking, but in a way that's not super upsetting. For example, and it's hard for me to describe this, but a good way you can start is by sitting on the floor with your toddler. Let's say that they're building a block tower and you're there to help them. When they pick up a block to put it on the block tower, you say, nice job, your turn, my turn, and you pick up a block and add it to the tower. So you're not taking anything away from them. So it's not like triggering. It's not like you're taking all the blocks away and saying it's my turn. That could lead to a meltdown. But you're doing something with them. You have this shared goal and they're learning more and more about my turn and your turn. You and your child could be drawing a picture of something together. So maybe you're drawing a picture of a kitty cat and they draw a line and you say my turn and you draw a line. Or you're putting stickers on something and you say, your turn, my turn, and you put a sticker on it. You can do this for a variety of different things, but you want it to be something that you're both working towards. This is making little tiny baby steps towards fully sharing. After this, the next thing you can do is you can actually practice outright sharing. With a toy, I would say that's not super preferred. So if your child's favorite toy is the toy truck and they're possessive over the toy truck, do not use the toy truck. Use something that they like but they don't love, and have them sit down next to an older sibling or maybe even a peer that already knows how to share. Put a timer on for 30 seconds. For 30 seconds, your little toddler gets to play with that toy. It's theirs. And then when the timer goes up, you clap, you say, yay! Joe's turn, all done. Now whoever's turn, or now my turn, if you want to do this with your toddler. You put like a shorter amount of time on the timer for you. So if your child had a 30-second chance with that toy, give yourself a 10-second chance. So now it's, okay, my turn with the toy. So they have to wait, they have to see you playing with the toy, and then once the timer's up, you say, yay, and you give the toy right back. And you practice going back and forth, your turn and my turn, with the use of a timer using a non-preferred toy. After they get that, you can increase the amount of time you are holding onto the toy. So instead of it just being 10 seconds for you and 30 seconds for them, now it can be 30 seconds for them and 20 seconds for you. 30 seconds for them, 30 seconds for you. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful for you all. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, as always, just comment below. And I look forward to seeing you all here next time. Bye.